During World War I, Adolf Hitler, then known as Corporal Adolf Schicklgruber, was referred to by his fellow soldiers as a rear area pig. How did this mediocre soldier, completely lacking in leadership qualities, transform into a brilliant orator with a truly demonic charisma in such a short time? In the years that Hitler was in power, he changed Germany and the world to such an extent that it is difficult to comprehend how he achieved it. Why was it that the leaders of the anti-Hitler coalition, Stalin, Churchill and Roosevelt, struggled to defeat him for so long? And how did the naturally prudent German people not only believe in the myth of Aryan racial superiority, but also become infected with cruelty and aggression? It was at this time after World War I that Germany was humiliated. The people needed a real demagogue who could deceive and elevate them. And that person emerged as Adolf Hitler. Historians know that Hitler never showed any signs of an exceptional future. Even his teachers believed that Adolf was different from other children, but not in a positive way. After completing the 6th grade, Hitler lost interest in his studies, dropped out of school, and did not receive his school-leaving certificate. The idea of working repulsed him. Essentially, he was a good-for-nothing, a man who could not fit into or adapt to any social environment. The only thing that somewhat appealed to the future Führer was drawing. He unsuccessfully attempted to gain admission to the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. When Hitler's mother passed away, he had to fend for himself and earn a living through odd jobs. He could have remained a failed artist forever, but then World War I began. Hitler seized this opportunity and joined the army. He found a good rear area job, initially tending to the wounded and later delivering mail from headquarters to the front lines. But where did the accounts of Hitler's exceptional bravery on the battlefield come from? Did these inner strengths simply lie dormant within him? And then, when they burst forth, we witnessed the rise of Nazism, fascism, the Third Reich, and more? But is that the whole story? British historian Thomas Weber uncovered new details about Hitler's biography. You can watch the full video by going to our channel. The British historian Thomas Weber has delved into previously unknown letters and diaries of Adolf Hitler's fellow soldiers, shedding new light on the future Nazi leader. Weber asserts that Hitler displayed no heroism during the war. He spent most of his time in the rear, away from the front lines. His comrades did not consider him a brave soldier, and they even joked that if Adolf had worked in a canning factory, he would have starved to death because he couldn't open a can with his bayonet. It is no wonder that upon seizing power, the Führer quickly eliminated his former comrades. In 1918, as Germany was in the throes of revolution, Hitler was in a hospital recovering from mustard gas poisoning. It was then that he unexpectedly decided to enter the political arena, marking the beginning of an incredible ascent for one of the most terrifying tyrants in world history. An ascent that is difficult to explain solely through logical reason. His fate took an unexpected turn, and it seems that his personal qualities played a role in his belief that he was destined to lead. In the same year, 1918, a mysterious organization called the Thule Society emerged in Munich, and Adolf Hitler became one of its members. Officially, the society focused on the study of ancient German history. However, after attending this supposedly scientific circle of archaeology enthusiasts, Hitler strangely began to gain confidence, and those around him recognized his talent as a brilliant orator. When he spoke, people went wild. Girls threw their underwear at his car as he drove through the streets. Could it be that ordinary Germans interested in their country's history were able to uncover the remarkable abilities of a former soldier? What exactly was this enigmatic Thule Society? The society took its name from a mythical island in ancient Greek legends said to be located at the edge of the world. According to ancient authors, the island, which the Greek merchant and traveller Pytheas first described in the 4th century BCE, was shrouded in mist and was a vast land where human-like voices could be heard. Pytheas claimed that this mysterious island, where he was unable to land, was located beyond the British Isles, near modern-day Greenland and Iceland. There are also mentions in the works of other Greek historians, such as Herodotus, it is difficult to determine whether they were retelling Pythia's story or if they had their own sources. The first description of this mysterious northern land appears in the works of the Byzantine historian Procopius of Caesarea in the 6th century. He described Thule or Thule as a very large island 10 times the size of Britain. Even in ancient times, the Latin expression Ultima Thule emerged, meaning the farthest Thule or Thula, referring to a land at the edge of the world. This expression has endured to this day. But why did the Nazis name their secret society after this mythical island? It turns out they believed that Thule was directly related to the Nordic homeland of the Aryans. On all ancient maps of Hyperborea, there are 4 islands, one of which is the island of Thule. It was said that magicians and wizards lived there, and that the Hyperborean Apollo travelled there to acquire knowledge. There is reason to believe that the ideology of the Third Reich was born within the occult Thule society, and the idea of Aryan racial superiority was formulated. The concept of a racially pure state and the conquest of living space emerged. Hitler found himself at the right time with the right people in the Thule society. They transformed him into the ruthless Hitler we all know, a man determined to lead his nation to the forefront, to make it a superpower. Could the ordinary struggling artist Hitler have become an instrument of some mysterious force? And if so, what did this force hope to achieve? After the Führer came to power, the Nazi propaganda machine went into overdrive, instilling in the minds of Germans the idea that they were the heirs of Arya, with a great history spanning thousands of years. A mystical aura was created, encouraged by representatives of the occult sciences, primarily by Hitler and his inner circle. Nazi secret expeditions to the north began in search of the Atlantis of the Third Reich, which had sunk into the sea due to tectonic shifts in the Earth's crust. Simultaneously, preparations for war were underway, a war that was meant to ensure German world domination. At the beginning of World War II, many politicians, including Stalin, believed that Hitler would never fight on 2 fronts. He would either attack the British Isles, in which case he would not negotiate Soviet territory, or if he attacked the Soviet Union, he would leave the British Isles alone for a time. To defeat the mistress of the seas, Great Britain, Hitler needed a powerful fleet, and he was building one. But why did he start the war long before his warships were launched? What was this strange method of world conquest? It was as if some unknown force was pushing the Führer. It cannot be ruled out that Hitler's desire to reach the island of Thule, this source of ancient power and energy, drove him to wage a rather strange and economically ruinous war with Great Britain. Conquer Britain, break through to Thule, and the great and unknown will give us the strength to crush the Soviet Union. However, after 2 years, and without having defeated Great Britain, Hitler made an even greater military blunder. He attacked the Soviet Union, engaging in a 2-front war. Why was the Führer so eager to invade the Soviet Union, even understanding that Stalin and Churchill would inevitably become allies? Was it a miscalculation of a novice or sheer arrogance? It is remarkable that blind faith in one's destiny is a characteristic trait of many adventurers who have attempted to conquer the world.